So the plan for today at the farm was to build a pad for our new rainwater tank / river water tank to go in. But as always, plans go awry. It has just started chucking it down. You can see just to the side of the tractor there, I've already cleared the area of brambles and weeds and scraped a bit of soil so it's a little bit more level over where the tank's got to go. But I'm going to need to gather up a load of sand and stuff that I've got knocking around and put that over there and then form a nice-ish level base, because I'm probably going to put a concrete pad underneath this tank. Finally been at the stage lately where I'm thinking a bit more long-term with infrastructure stuff that I'm putting in like this. Usually I would have just thrown sand underneath it, like I say, slap the tank on it, but then over time it's obviously going to sink and twist and whatnot. But I'm putting this in, so this will be a pad for a tank for a long time now, because the one that I'm getting, you can actually get it in much larger sizes. It's the same floor space, it just goes up and up and up basically. So I'm preempting getting a much larger tank at some point in time, which 100% will require a concrete base. Weather doesn't seem to be changing, so I've just put the dry robe on, the missus's dry robe that is, and we'll get cracking on loading some sand up and bring it over here. As always, I've got the best timing when it comes to doing these jobs. It's been dry the last few days, but I've been busy with chicken stuff, so when we get to it, it starts raining, so this is going to be much harder to actually get level because it's all wet now, rather than just being able to rake it, especially the sand I've got over there. That'll be wet, so I can't just rake it as easy. But we're basically going to be backfilling this area from roughly the edge of where that bank is to about here, about 3 meters. We're going to go for about 3 meters across square because the tank is 2.5 meters wide, so we want a little bit around the edge. Away we go. We're going to be getting all the sand from this sandbag structure I was building here next to the pond. It was pretty much going to be a giant reed bed / settling pond for this, so I could try and keep it a bit cleaner. But I filled it up halfway and it started buckling a bit more than I'd like it to, so I'm not going to be using sandbags for any fish tanks in the future. First challenge on getting the sandbags is making it through the little piles of stuff I've got right in front of it. A bit tight on that side because of some slats. A bit tight on that side because there's some hydroponic equipment for growing lettuces. We're through though. Just about to start loading them up. Already had one incident. Split bag, sand straight in the shoe. New strategy, as the bags are so falling apart, we're putting the bucket right next to the wall and trying to flip them in as best we can. That's the first 4 or 5 sandbags in there. We've probably got about another 30 to move up here to build the pad. But all of that needs to be moved, so we'll probably just build them all over this way and fill this area as much as we can with them now. So I've used this first load to make a little bit of an edge, as you can see there. So I can just keep filling up and building a bit of a flat surface all the way down this little bit of bank. It's not much incline, but there's a little bit. So obviously by the time I'm spreading all the way down here, it's going to be quite a bit thicker. I reckon it'll end up being about a foot thick at the bottom end compared to this, which is only 2 or 3 inches. So we've moved about 30 of the sandbags over now. We've got a good edge going. Fairly flat. Needs a little bit more over that side. It's getting towards the end of the day. It doesn't look very dark, but it's 8 o'clock at night now, so I'm going to go and have some tea. Back at it. As you can see, got about halfway yesterday, but now we've got a few more bags that are a bit more intact over here that all need untying, which is a bit of a ball ache. Done them up once, don't want to have to undo them again. It's much easier if they just rip, but easy enough just to do that too. This is the majority of the sandbags over here now. More than I expected are actually intact, but quite a few, as you can see by this giant pile I'm building up over here, are torn to shreds from moving them about. The sun really doesn't do these any favours if they're left out for more than a few months really with direct sunlight. As you can see, they just sort of split along the edges when the sun gets to them. I'm actually getting more sand out of all these sandbags than I thought I would, so got a much bigger pad than I anticipated building, but it's going to mean when I eventually put concrete on it, it's going to be a much bigger pad that can be used for more than just one tank now, I think. By the time I finish spreading all these bags here, it should be just about 2 tanks wide, I think. And I've got quite a few sandbags left, but I'm probably going to end up making use of them over in the other area where I started taking these from. A little short video the other day. This hogging stuff is really useful for any kind of hard base. So, as well as for these tanks, I'll make a nice little hard base area. For the bit over there where I was going to put a fish tank, probably going to put some sort of other sort of natural filter now instead. But it's going to make a nice hard base for whatever I decide to do over there. These are the last few bags. I think there's probably about 20 bags left over there. I'll take you back over there in a sec, show you what I mean by where I'm going to build these last few bags out. But I'll clear all these ones out of the way first. So this is the last sort of step, really. Hopefully we're going to have a good amount of rain over the next few days, which will help pack all this down. And I mentioned in other videos before, but with this hogging stuff, if it gets a bit wet, as you can see, this is a little bit moist now. But once it's compressed down, had a bit of moisture actually land on it, it gets really rock hard. You see all these lumps that are actually in it everywhere, like this big one here. That's how it goes. It forms like a bit of a stony rock layer eventually. So once this is spread out, like I say, the rain over the next few days has been on top of it. It should be nicely firm next week. Oh, sand in the shoe. But yeah, it should be nicely firm next week. And then can look at probably putting a bit of concrete down before the tank arrives, ideally. Because it's a lot of messing about to get it to and fro, isn't it, to put it on at a later date. Even though it probably would work out better, slightly better long term. Put the tank on here, get some weight in it, let it sort of self-settle in a little bit better, press everything down the way it needs to be, and then take it back out the way, put the concrete pad down. It's less likely to move the concrete pad that way then, I think, but as this should be more than stable, I think, for only the 5-6 ton of weight that's going to be on it. Don't think we'll do that. Just get it pressed in, get a pad on it next week. As you can see, there's quite a few bags didn't make it into the tractor bucket, so we've got quite a bit of the hogging over here and a bit of render from between the bags to film a nice bit of a base for over here. Probably just do a tank on this edge now, singular tank, smaller tank anyway, and then a little waterfall out of it into the little pond there. As I said before, the plan with this was to be a bit of a big tank that then ended as a little waterfall back into here. Kind of similar to what I did here, which was growing some garlics in and stuff, which I was going to do aquatic plants in here this time. It's more likely to be next summer that I actually get to doing the fish farming stuff again though, because we've got that many projects coming up, especially with the castle, the moat, and doing all these glamping pods. And then we've still got the main structure of the barn to finish. So quite a few big projects left on the list before I can crack on with another one really, and start another business. Yeah, probably, like I say, next week or so, we should hopefully get putting a concrete base on there. We'll be doing another video on that. Let me know in the comments below if you're liking seeing these longer videos of day-to-day stuff that goes on here at the farm. Till next time then, bye-bye.